All right, hello everybody. Welcome back to Tub Takes. This is a video podcast where we talk about what's been making waves in the VGC scene. Today you are nope. Anyways, today you are being hosted by Alex Underhill. That's me. I'm that guy. Also joining me is my co-host Adi. He's also hosting you. Adi, how's it going?
Hey, I'm really depressed right now. I just got done playing a grueling 72 hours of Pokemon for 80 championship points, but I hope everyone else is doing a little better.
Hey, 80's not bad. Don't be too sad about that. We've also got Z here, recent Baltimore top 4, I do believe, right?
Top 8.
Top 8. Okay, sorry. That's why I wanted to check. I was like, I wasn't so certain. Anyways, but yeah, we could get you on last week because of scheduling, but we're happy to have you here this time, previewing Dortmund and also talking about the GC. Did you play the GC?
I did.
Okay.
I did, yeah.
All right, well, we'll talk about all of our results when we get to that one. And I guess spoiling one of the results right now, but if you check Twitter, you'll know. Anyways, we have Nails here, your Grand Challenge 1 winner.
Hello, I am also that guy.
That's true.
Happy to be here.
So yeah, anyways, we've got a couple of things to talk about today. Signups for regionals upcoming, signups for LAIC, I guess. I don't know, something about that. Also, while we're, before we get started here, I want to mention that, if you have any questions, feel free to mention them in the chat. And then also, this will be up on YouTube tomorrow. !YT in the chat. And, while Adi has like a full mouth of food, I'll ask him to please remind us of all the, stuff that you've got going on this week, because I know that you wanted to mention that at the top somewhere.
Yeah. So first off, I see Splatty Daddy, who is also the GOAT, in chat. We just had a team report that we published today. So super excited, super cool team report. Nails and I just finished recording a team report about 20 minutes ago. So expect to see Nick's team report out for his Global Challenge winning team, if you want to see that. And also, I have a team report because I did pretty well in the Global Challenge, all things considered, with Superior and Ceruledge. So I have a team report coming out. And then the big one is thank you all for getting me to 5,000 subscribers on YouTube. I'm so pleased with that. I'm really happy. Thank you to each and every one of you. And so we're going to do a celebration stream with me and Michael Zhang, ESM, and Raghav. We're going to be comparing every single VGC player to a basketball player, and that's going to be on Wednesday evening at 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. So make sure to tune in for that, and that will also be up on YouTube at some point. So we actually have 5 videos in 5 days. It's going to be really exciting. So make sure to...
You gotta watch to find out who is the LeBron of VGC, who's the Jordan of VGC, and all those other ones that, people definitely know. Luca, last name I can never get right. Doncic?
Sarabelli? Luca Sarabelli?
That one, yes. Is Luca? I guess I'll have to wait to find out.
Luca?
Luca might be Luca.
Out, yeah.
That's pretty good. He's European.
Is Luca European?
Yeah, no, he's Italian. I thought they had his flag up on the Pokemon broadcast.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot about that. Okay, but anyways, let's go ahead and start off with actually some very recent news. I will throw it up here. I don't actually know what's going on. I know that there was a lot of hiccups with signing up for LAIC. A lot of people were having trouble. I'm going to ask if somebody else knows more if they could speak on it, because I definitely don't know enough.
I just saw it on Twitter and said, hey, we should mention this on Tub Takes. They just haven't, the Copag is going through right now. And so it sounds like they have everybody registered that they're going to register, and they just haven't been able to process payments. But I'm not going to be attending that tournament. Good luck to everybody who is. Yeah, that sounds like a doozy.
Yeah. Well, it does. Are they done registering people? I think that the people can still. There's still wave 2, right? People can still register.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how many. No. Well, I don't think you can register right now because I think it's closed. But people will still be able to register in theory. Yeah. I don't know. It sounds like the problem is not with Arcanine, which is good because there's also more signups coming up. But with Copag and accepting payments from Stripe, And COPAG also notably is the organization that could not also send out money to people who won money last LAIC, which is a big problem for a lot of people. So yeah, I guess I don't know why they get to keep hosting tournaments. They're really bad at this, but here we are. So hopefully this gets sorted out and everyone can figure out whether or not they actually will be able to play at the Latin American International Championships long after they hopefully have booked flights for the Latin American International Championships.
It's a beautiful mess, and yeah, at this point, you just know that if you ever hear people talking about COPAG, it's going to be followed by bad news. So I don't know if this is going to be the last straw, or if they're just going to keep getting away with it. But we'll have to wait and see, I guess, until like next year, because they're not going to go back on anything for this year, of course. They're just kind of along for the ride.
I have heard no rumors. I'm just speculating that Kopag might be doing some shady business to keep getting the contract with Pokemon, because like at this there is no validity to these rumors. They are not rumors. It is entirely speculation. But like, why do they keep getting the contract? They've never done a good job. They've always had some problems, or it's been just like underwhelming hosting, like despite the global staff coming in and never doing bad things. It's just or very rarely, I mean, like an average bad general like hit rate for the staff doing bad stuff. Just it is, I don't know why we have Kopag still, but
I like Mike's prediction that we'll get OCIC back to replace LAIC because they're just tired of dealing with this. Anyways, though,
OCIC was the best tournament.
It was,
and so
it was a good time.
Like, yeah, I would be so down. Just there are a lot of Latin American players. So, I mean, my take is that they should just host it in Argentina. Like Buenos Aires would be fine. They could also do something further north in the continent. Like probably Peru would be a good option. I'm not too up on where in Latin America is stable enough to host, but I mean, I'm pretty sure there's more Spanish.
We've had several Texas events.
We could have the Texas LAIC.
I think that, I was going to say, what if Texas was just part of LATAM?
More realistically, like Mexico City LAIC would be real, right? Like it would just be second North American International Challenge. So maybe you do it in like Panama City or something, but like actually Panama City really wouldn't be a bad spot to host it. It would still be very invadable for North America, so maybe that's why they want to host it in a southern Brazil location. But I don't know. If it's an international tournament, making it easier to get to for international players at the expense of the South American players is probably not a great thing, but it's not the worst thing.
Well,
just spitballing.
The bigger problem is that Latin America is so big, and I've talked to a lot of Mexican players who feel like they're like they are part of the Latin American region, but they are going to be in such a tough spot to get top 75 because it's expensive for them to go to Brazil, to South America. It's way cheaper for them to go to North America, right? And so they have to go to compete with Americans at these much bigger regionals and are competing with Latin American players who get to go to much smaller special events who actually have access to their local internets. Mexican players don't often go to Latin American internets. And it really feels like, and that's true of the people who live in the Caribbean, maybe a little less true of people who live in Central America, but it really feels like Latin America should be where you have Central America and the Caribbean and then South America, and you have them treated as separate regions because, and then also similarly, because COPAG got to do so much of the logistics for Latin American events, we basically did not see any events in Central America, in Mexico, for an entire year where there were events, and they were basically entirely locked out. It was just the very end of last season where they finally got events back in Mexico. So yeah, it's very strange that they are treated as the same region when they really are not the same region, and they do in fact span across two different continents.
Yeah, and like I don't think the Argentinian players are getting a great deal in this either. Like, Brazil tends to have way more events than Argentina, and Argentina does have a lot of top players. So it's just it's not a great deal for any, like Kopag like being the head honcho for LATAM, it just is fine for Brazil, and then it's not great for anybody else. And so I would like to see what a LATAM DPC circuit would look like.
I gotta make sure that we don't end up talking about World Cup, man. I'm gonna get too. I can't talk about these team tours, man. Oh man. Let's I guess keep it moving though. We've got more exciting things to get to. And so really quick though, just a reminder: Sacramento regional signups are this Wednesday. So this should be on YouTube tomorrow. So I guess tomorrow, if you're watching on YouTube, but otherwise in 2 days, right here now on the Twitch stream. But anyways, Sacramento signups. If you're planning on going to that one, definitely be ready on the minute. It feels like all these tournaments are filling up so fast. I don't know. I don't actually know if they've announced already like the number of spots they're doing or not, but like I just, this is the one regional that I've just been on the bench the whole season, not doing Baltimore or Louisville or LAIC as we were just talking about. And so I'm just like so scared. Like I just like, really want to make sure I don't miss out on attending the one that or signing up for the one that I'm planning on attending. And I wouldn't want that to happen to anybody else that's planning the same, So definitely be ready.
For sure.
Just want to throw out that you should sign up even if you're considering it, not even 100%
at
confirmed,
this point,
since
yeah.
there's no cancellations, so spots are very scarce. Because that's a great decision that they have decided to roll out this season.
Yeah.
So make sure to get there fast.
Yeah,
I really don't love the fact that they've walked back cancellation registrations. Like, I bet I mean, it's probably based on some internal data where they just were like, if people want to sign up, then let's not give them their money back. Like, there's some percentage of people that are that cancel their spots, but those spots do then, like, some of them get passed on to other players, and maybe it just doesn't make financial sense. But it's really a drag that we end up with people who don't want to play that can't get a refund, and also people who do want to play that can't fill one of those spots. And so
I feel like there's got to be some kind of like middle ground where there's like a a cancel date, even if they have to set it out like a little bit of weeks away, months away, like something like that. Like sign up initially, but at a certain point you're gonna have to book your travel to there, especially if you're flying, and maybe that's when you realize you don't want to go, and you can still during this like cancellation window refund your slot so that other people can get in there. But it's just, I don't know. I wish there was some kind of middle ground at the very least. If they're not going to give us, the ability to cancel, like at least give us the ability to cancel, like up to a certain period. I guess it's just it's rough. Like Adi has mentioned before. I don't know. I wouldn't have been able to like book travel to Louisville. It was a little too hard to get to. But like I'm really liking the format, and like I really like a team that I was trying out right now, and it's just like that's tough though. There might like Rajan is one of the examples of somebody who's not going to Louisville. He thought he might, but found out he couldn't, and nobody's gonna get to take his spot. He's just stuck. Not only is he losing the $70, but nobody that wants to give them the $70 so that they can play is allowed to take that spot instead. It's just a lose-lose situation. It feels like.
And like the past regionals had they didn't give you your full $70 back. They gave you like 50 back. So Pokemon would be up $20 if they took Rajan's 20 from cancellation, and then also somebody else's 70. So something to think about. Big PK,
I take that
$20
system
more.
Too. Like that system's like not even unreasonable. Like you committed to the slot. They don't want to like lose a complete 70 if they can't fill your chair. Whatever, but it just would be nice to at least give more people the chance to play, because these things are already so limited as is.
I don't think we've seen events capping in minutes, but yeah, you definitely want to be on it. Like within a couple hours of registration is like have your mind made up in the days beforehand, whether you want to sign up and then still get on it. Like it's best to just slam your registration ASAP.
And yeah, to answer the question in chat, Ryan, there is no penalty to signing up and not doing anything with your sign up. No, you just hold it. I mean, obviously you lose the $7, but
yeah, they don't punish for no shows. It is your it is your sign up, and you're free to compete in the tournament however you wish, which includes not going to the venue on Saturday.
But other than that, I don't know if there's anything else to say. Just, make sure you're there, be there if you're planning on going, or even thinking about it, as we mentioned. But let's go ahead and talk about the Grand Challenge now. Yeah, I'm actually like I was missing Liberty Note. They do such like a good job of collecting the top teams and finishes and players' results, whatever. As soon as these competitions complete, when we're playing the global challenges, this is the Grand Challenge. There's no Japanese players being entered, no Worlds invites being decided for them, so they have no reason to collect the data, and so we're stuck with just like a very incomplete list right now. I'm sure eventually the full results will come out right now, and I think we do know who won, so that I can confirm. Yeah, it was won by none other than Nick here. So Nick, let's actually talk about your global challenge run a bit here. I know we mentioned earlier that you already did a kind of like team report and talked a lot about your run and stuff there. So, definitely check out the YouTube video that'll be out at some point on the channel. But regardless, give us like the quicker version here now on for the tub take fans.
Yeah, so if you have the team somewhere, like I linked it in Doctor Voice if you want to pull it up.
I can grab it.
Yeah, so the 6, I posted the 6 on Twitter without the paste. The paste, I dropped it in chat here on Tub Takes just now, and the team report's going to be coming out soon, and but it's also on screen here. Yeah, so AV Blood Moon is something that we were talking about in Tub early this week as being a really good call for the GC. After having played the GC, I'm pretty sure it just holds up very well in open team sheets. AV Blood Moon just it it has a lot of fizz bulk already, and so just having the special bulk just says it's gonna get its damage off, and you're not gonna really be able to do anything about it. You can put it to sleep, but that's about it. And funnily enough, I was actually trying out Snore on Blood Moon.
I kept pushing back on that,
sleep
man. I was
counterplay.
like, please, it can't be Snore. Vacuum Wave is so solid.
Vacuum Wave is really good, and I did end up I ended up playtesting Snore a little bit, and after like 30 games of it never being good, I was like, okay, fine, I'll just put the good move on. And then Vacuum Wave was very good, but Snore is probably the best 5th move that it can run, and it is real, and it does solve a problem that the set runs into, which is sleep moves shut it down, and it doesn't really have any good counterplay for them.
Mhm.
So Snore, for those who do not know, it's a 50 base power move that does get the Terra boost. If you Terra normal Snore, it gets boosted up to 60. It fails if you're awake, but if you're sleeping, yeah, it's just a 60 base power special normal move that also has a 30% flinch chance. You can target it while you are sleeping, also while you're awake. So if you know that you're getting slept, you can just snore a slot and you'll get your damage off. And it's a funny move that is very, very rarely competitively viable. But I know there's been some funny sets with like I think Sylveon has done something with it before in singles, where you have the pixelate snore on like a rest set.
Yeah, guys, this is
So
not Sleep Talk. Yeah, I'm glad that somebody mentioned it. Like, it might be easy to confuse it with Sleep Talk, but it is not that move. This is a move that does damage, like, while you're sleeping, and not randomly chooses one of your moves in your list, basically. It's a little different, a little funnier. I mean, that you'll see that in some VGC sets where, like Choice Scarf Tatsugiri or Choice Spec Sylveon in the past have run Sleep Talk to get around getting spored on a turn that they didn't want to be. But this is definitely a different way to do it. I do think that's really
but yeah,
funny.
that's just a tangent that didn't end up making the cut, but it was very funny. So, and I didn't really go into that on the team report. So, yeah. Anyways, the P2. The big thing about the set that sticks out, I guess Thunderbolt is also something that nobody's really running right now, but Thunderbolt was
True.
very good. But yeah, the big part is Trace. Trace is an ability that P2, like, I mean, it's always had it as an option, and occasionally gets some play. It has a couple of really nice interactions in this format. The biggest one is against Dozo. They pretty much have to run unaware for a bunch of reasons in this format, and you cannot trace commander. It just refuses to pick commander. So if you send P2 against a Dozo Tats board, you just always get unaware, and then you can T-bolt through the fish, and it does. You win the damage trades really
What if they
hard.
tear grass? What if they tear grass?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked. Then you can ice beam them, and
Let's
you have unaware to ignore their
go!
boost.
Bolt Beam is so good. What the heck? Why don't more people do this?
Yeah. So Trace P2, it just dunks on Dozo really hard. Makes their life very sad. If you're planning on loading up Dozo for Dortmund and you see that I'm talking up Trace P2 a bunch, you are currently punching air, and that's
Good.
tough, buddy.
I hope the
Have fun
Dozo
running
players
Dozo
punch air,
anyways.
man.
I hope you're running body press.
I have Terra Ghost for that guy. I got all the answers, man. Yeah, no, it's very tough to Dozo through Trace P2. You have to run Oblivious, but then your Dozo loses to opposing Dozo, and it loses to like boosters, and it just breaks how the team is built, and so you have to reimagine it, which is tough to do in a week. So yeah, figure that out, Dozo players. Have fun. The Among Us, Covert Cloak and Among Us and Closed Team Sheet is cheating. My most common lead with the team was Sneasler Among Us. And like I have the Jolly Sneasler fake out, which is the fastest fake out in the format. So I turned off a guy for the turn, and then they trade fake out into Among Us because they're the slower fake out, and that's how the game works. And then their fake out guy or their partner or whatever goes to sleep, and that's like most of the game right there. They just have a guy that's 0 turn sleeping, and we traded fake out, and yeah, no, it was just it was very unfair. Covert Cloak and Closed Team Sheets is not okay. That's most of it. Sludge Bomb was really nice to hit grass types that might want to block Spore. Pollen Puff on Ensign and AV Blood Moon and P2 occasionally is just very nice. Among Us was great. I got how do you play around goggles and Terra Grass in the Global Challenge, and you just kind of have to have your spidey sense for when something like that is going to come up. In my final game that I played, I made one of my favorite plays of the tournament where the like Trick Room was up, the Basket Legion had come in on my P2 Among Us board. I T-bolted its Protect the turn before, and it's like, bro, why is there a fish here? You're obviously Terra Grassing. And so I ripped the Sludge Bomb Ice Beam into the Basque, and it Terra Grassed. And yeah, that was probably one of my favorite plays I made all tournament. But yeah, you just have to have a spidey sense for these things. It's something that you can definitely work on, and I played a bunch of ladder games on the best of one ladder to prep this team in the week before the GC, and yeah. But Open Team Sheets Among Us is definitely a better Pokemon than Closed Sheets Among Us. Covert Cloak just gave it a really potent tool to fight back and against item surprise that it often has to deal with. Ensign is an Ensign. The only funny thing I did here was I gave it the attack investment, which a lot of people aren't doing, but they probably should be. It gets the kill on Glass Goldengo if they don't tear with knockoff, and picks it up with a Flare Blitz if they do, assuming Terra Steel. It picks up Dragapult with knockoff, and like that's a guy that you really don't want to give an extra turn, and so just killing it in 1 instead of 2 is good. And otherwise, just having the extra damage was generally good. Like my P2 is bold, and I feel pretty strongly about that, and I talk more about that in the video. But also, Adamant Ensign is cool. The other thing I did with Ensign was I made it slower than Blood Moon, so that if there's like a follow me, like a Clef Goldie board or a Clef Gambit board or something like that, and Blood Moon will pick up the kill on the follow me guy, then Ensign can go second and get the the attack off into, or the parting shot or whatever, into not the redirection guy. So it wasn't super relevant, but it definitely came up in a few games. Or like maybe Electabuzz hiding some guy
Somebody did ask,
behind
did you
behind him.
ever fake out into Covert Cloak?
I did not. I was pretty good about that. I spored into goggles once, um, and that was about it.
What was the goggles?
It was on Gambit.
Okay, yeah, it's like a
And
sometimes. It's a big sometimes.
maybe I might have faked out any cloak once, but generally I was really good about not clicking fake out unless the position wanted me to click fake out.
Yeah, yeah.
I did click a lot of turn 1 Dire Claws when fake out was live and would have made sense, but I just didn't want to get got by Terra Ghost or something. And it's like, if I click Dire Claw, I can get bailed out sometimes, even if they rip a surprise Terra.
You haven't talked about Sneasler yet. How good was that mon in the tournament?
That mon was really good. Dire Claw is not an okay move. For those who are mathematically challenged, or just haven't thought about it that way, Dire Claw has a 65% chance to get a status whenever you click it, and having a bulky team behind it that like poison is the most likely outcome, and so thanks to poison touch, and so you just if you get a poison,
You
like
you just
having
double protect afterwards to like rack up the poison chip, like just protect with both your Pokemon or something, or I guess one of them if you
no, you get the idea. That's exactly what I was going for.
Okay.
But yeah, just fishing with Dire Claw very aggressively. Like if you don't know precisely what you're supposed to do on it, like if you don't have a reason to click one of the other moves, you should be clicking Dire Claw every turn. It is just a broken move, and it they were not supposed to ship this move in this state. It is really not okay. Sneasler is so good.
The main thing I like to mention about Sneasler's Dire Claw is that it's a very tough move to switch in on, because you can send out your Incineroar and get off and Intimidate and resist it, or, a number of other Pokemon. Salamence is a good Pokemon to switch in, or I'm trying to think of a resistance. Even like a Mungus, could come in and resist a Dire Claw pretty well. But if you ever switch in on a Dire Claw and get slept, that is like almost game losing in its on its own, because that's a 0-turn sleep. Your Pokemon has to spend 1 turn doing nothing, potentially a couple more doing nothing. The paras can be bad, and even the poisons are nice too, as you mentioned. That's obviously the most common one, but yeah, it's just like it's very risky to switch in on Sneasler, so you're oftentimes better just like staying in, hoping that just kind of crossing your fingers and hoping it works out, because sometimes it won't, and you're gonna have to hold that. There's only a few ways to like really get around it. I've talked up Electabuzz a lot, but being a Sneasler counter just because it's immune to para and sleep. But otherwise,
it still doesn't love being poisoned.
What's up?
It still doesn't love being poisoned, though.
No. But you take that, because like the other outcomes are often worse for a lot of Pokemon.
Yeah. So one of the main ways you can play around Sneasler is by sending a Goldengo out, because it's immune to both stabs. So I was not comfortable running like Sneasler and Mungus was one of the modes I leaned on a lot, and I didn't want to have Goldengo just completely wall out that mode. And so I put the Terra Dark Throat Chop on in order to smack Goldengos.
Yep.
It doesn't quite pick up the Oko, but it puts it in range for any other chip, such as Vacuum Wave, Blood Moon. And it was often good enough to enable a 2-shot.
I do sometimes forget that one that Rajan mentioned in the chat. I do, and like I remember it, but like I didn't. I think it's worth mentioning again. Is Covert Cloak is a fun way to deal with opposing Sneasler. It is a secondary effect on the move, so yeah. Even if you're like just using a Covert Cloak Volcarona, that's like actually pretty solid into Sneasler. You just can't get lucked.
And you can lock them back with Flame Body. It's,
yeah.
They just have to click an 80 base power move into you and hope that their Dire Claw doesn't scam them back. The shoe is on the other foot against Cover Cloak Volk. I guess I'll talk about the last mon. The Dragapult was just kind of okay. I think that if you're playing the team in OTS, you keep the other 5 and you mess around with the Dragapult slot because there's some stuff that Goldengo. I think the list is Amoonguss, Goldengo, King Gambit, Sun Spam, like Typhlosion stuff, and Rain Spam are probably the slots or the things that need to be responded to better in open team sheets for this team. Um, and the Dragapult slot does okay at all of those things, except for Gambit, I guess. But really, you need more Sun matchups for it in open sheets because they can see that Blood Moon can't protect. And I guess that's the next thing to talk about the team is, yeah, I have no protects on the team. It's something that I generally tend to more anyways, even in open team sheets. Like, I had the Portland team with triple choice that had 1 protect on the entire team. So it's a playstyle that I'm more comfortable with than most anyways, just opting out of protects. But also in closed sheets, they don't know that I don't have protect. Like, everybody has protect. You got to play around it. I might protect all my guys this turn. What are you going to do?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that is the beauty of it in CTS.
Yeah, and so I just got to have extra coverage on my mons and still get the ambiguity of maybe my mon can protect. Because like a lot of the guys do often have protect, and I definitely got a lot of wins off of people just predicting my Blood Moon P2 board to protect, and they'll say like, I'll throw out a +2 make it rain at this board as I double into the P2, and the P2 switched out to Ensign, and the Blood Moon Earth powered the Goldengo, and their position was toasted, and yeah, just got a lot of mileage out of that. I don't like, you're not going to be scamming as hard if you play it in open sheets, but the position still works fundamentally. So yeah, AV Blood Moon, very good for open sheets.
Yeah, I that was one thing I'm glad that you circled back to the Blood Moon, is that I've just seen it a lot on Japan. Like Japan has used it quite extensively in closed sheet best of one. They might, mix it up a little bit, run a Terra Poison or a Terra Normal, either way. There's a lot of sets that, like, you really don't see over there, and that's like something that was super different about this global challenge. Like I've definitely seen a lot more best of 3 open team sheet type teams just being used in best of 1, teams directly ripped. Some of them, they got creative with it. They made some changes and, like, played on your familiarity, which I think is a good way to do it. You might think, yeah, this is always a Terra, fighting P2 and then a Terra Ghosts or something. There's stuff like that. But other than that, like, a lot of people were using, like, very fair teams or a lot of stuff that wouldn't catch you off guard. Not nearly as much as, like, what, Japan was whipping out. And there's just such a different approach to the game. No, Rajan, that never happened to me. Thank you for asking.
It's interesting you bring that up because, Nails, obviously, you built your team with best of 1 in mind. It was not super unorthodox, but I think a lot of the other people who did really well did have really weird teams, because I saw Sempra has his team report out. He ran Quackable, and I think he got 2nd place or 3rd place in the Grand Challenge. We saw Alex Gomez use Sylveon Dozo, which I think is a little weird, not super out there, but like weird enough. And so yeah, there were, I think, was it someone using a Samurott or something like that? It did well. Like, there were
Marco
a few different
Fierro.
people using some weird stuff. Marco, yeah, and he got 20th. Obviously, I did pretty well with Ceruledge and Superior. Bars got 35th with a Terra Steel Dragonite that absolutely demolished me with Scale Shot. So I thought a lot of the players who ended up doing really well built for best of 1, and I saw a lot of people running like exactly Justin Tang's team. And I think I farmed all of them because I just pulled up the team sheet and knew exactly what they were doing.
Actually,
yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. No, I think you are. Just best of 1 closed sheets and best of 3 open sheets are fundamentally different formats. It's the same game, but you cannot approach them in the same way and expect to do as well in either direction. And so you're supposed to approach them slightly differently. And yeah, I think I did a really good job team building and like taking lessons from my team moving forward is a good thing to do. Yeah.
I wanted to ask Z, what did you end up using in the tournament in the GC?
Yeah, so I used my same like Vivillon team that I used at the Baltimore Regional.
Yep.
I didn't really have a lot of time to build something new over the week, which I guess is my John. But I do agree with Nails that like if you want to try and go for a deep run in the GC, you should probably try to build something that is best of one closed sheet specific. I sleep powdered into a couple safety goggles. That was pretty painful to do throughout the tournament. And obviously, like Adi said, like people could probably pull up my team sheet if they realized that they were playing into me. So I walked over at the top 256. I'll take it. It's a pretty good chunk of points after the regional. But for me, this is the end of my Vivillon roller coaster, I guess. It's been a fun 2 weeks, but moving on from cooking sleep powder for now.
Your Twitter bio reminded me that it is Pokemon number 666. That's just so amusing. The most evil Pokemon they could come up with. I ended up finishing top 128, somewhere in there, like 111. I don't know where it was, but what website this is? This is just Bulba Garden. It honestly, I mean, I'm using it for the show here, so I'll give them a shout for having some of the results, but they don't have a lot of them. Like, we've seen like Sempra and Marco Fierro, who both had like deep runs and posted on Twitter, and they don't have them all. There's just no good collection of them. This is just like the first thing I found while Googling. There'll definitely be a better host of the results later. What's up, Adi?
We need a hashtag. That's what the Japanese players use, and that's why I think Liberty Note can gather them so quickly. We need to like start doing like hashtag Grand Challenge or something to tag our results.
Yeah.
I can say that I collected a few of the other top results while at like the tail end of the competition. So I can tell you that Agati got second, Semper got third, Pokealx got fourth, and Fevzi got fifth. I'm not sure past that.
Wait, Fevzi... because he posted at his peak, right? And then lost?
Yeah, he posted at his peak, and then he lost his next game.
Yeah. So this site does credit Fevzi for getting second. So yeah, like it's not like I just wanted to have a couple of the tweets.
Bulbapedia got something wrong. That's crazy.
Leave him alone. Leave him alone.
How come
seriously,
how come they credit Fevzi for getting?
No shade intentional. I do really appreciate Bulbapedia for dipping their toes into covering the Grand Challenge, and like big shout outs to them for compiling stuff. And Bulbapedia is obviously an excellent resource. That they have a reputation for getting like stuff slightly incorrect. That it's a little bit deserved, but almost everything is right, and it's tough to get a better hit rate than they have. And so like failing an official source that actually keeps things up to date, Bulbapedia does a very good job.
Oh yeah, Joe also had Vivian, right? Wait, which one is it? Is it Vivillon, Vivian? I don't remember. Vivian. Okay. Anyways, Joe, yeah, also had a good finish. And yeah, I was telling Adi he bubbled the article too. Like we're still waiting to see if Adi makes it in. Adi, what was the like printed number on your Switch? 34, right?
I was 34th. I'm not getting in. At this point, I think almost everyone has tweeted out their result, and I don't think anyone is going to get DQ'd, or is anyone... We didn't see any Asian players do very well. I think someone would have told us if we saw a Japanese cart or a Chinese cart do the place towards the top end. So I'm pretty sure that I'm bubbling out, and I think Hoj posted his screenshot. He got 32nd.
Yeah.
I was 0.7 points behind him, which is apparently worth 40 championship points. So yeah, that's kind of yeah. Fun fact: while I'm complaining, I said I'd complain on this and not my team report. I also complained on the team report a little bit, but this is the most points you can bubble at any tournament in the entire circuit, except for getting 32nd to 33rd at an international championship. That's the only place where you can bubble more points. And at that point, you've also lost, $2,000, and you have a lot more to complain about. Jinchi, I saw you in chat. I'm sorry, you have a huge amount of complaint equity. But yeah. Other than that, this is literally the most you can bubble at any tournament. It was really demoralizing sitting at 31st.
Isn't there a really stupid cutoff from 9th to 8th at regionals?
Yeah, but you can't bubble that anymore. You
you
term
can't
your
bubble
wins.
that. Okay, got it. Yeah.
I think being able to like play in for like a point gap is fair. Bubbling on a big point gap feels much less fair.
Agreed.
I still think it's stupid that the gap is that large from 8th to 9th. But
Although,
It's
do we
true.
call
What it
this
is.
one? Do we call this one bubbling? I know, Adi, your complaint equity is there. Like 0.07 is like stupid, and that is almost like, I guess it's close to bubbling because you don't exactly choose who you fight. It's like your rating is almost like resistance, you know. So you know, I'll ask the panel, not Adi. Is it a bubble or not, Nick? Z, what do you guys think?
The gap is small enough that I think it's fine to call it a bubble. It communicates what went on. Like,
Right. Z.
It's okay. So it's kind of like how like people on TikTok use the word POV to describe something that is definitely not a POV. Like I get, it's not the literal sense of the word, but like I get it.
Yeah. Fair.
And I will say, you were talking about the huge cutoffs in regionals as well. I also think that's very silly. I don't know why. I mean, the tournament. I don't know why they decided to change the structure and have like these sort of arbitrary huge drop offs, while also like I don't know if you've looked at the championship point payouts. I think I posted it in the article in our preview document because I wanted to talk about it. If you look at the regional level points too, you get so few points for winning in top 8. You get 20 points for winning your top 8 set. You get another 25 points for winning your top 4 set. But you get 80 points for winning your top 16 set. It's just like, and then same with internets, you know, like the number of points you get for winning gets smaller and smaller. So, and except for this is one point where this is huge cutoff, and that was true in the global challenge as well, where Nails, you got 170 points for winning, and if you got 32nd, you got 120 points. So 50 points difference between getting an 1860 something rating and and a 1790 rating, give or take. Whereas, and then the difference between 32nd and 33rd is this huge drop off. And I just don't know why they have decided to implement like this sort of weird gradient for championship point payouts, both at a regional level and at a global challenge level. It just doesn't really make sense to me. And I was complaining about the regional stuff earlier too, but yeah, I really don't like the fact that people weren't incentivized to play it out, and people were incentivized to park. This dynamic that was like so many people within such a small range, all kind of waiting to get past so they play another game. The last 2 hours of the global challenge were super, super stressful for me. Getting past after the timer ran out was also very upsetting. Just like overall, just like, I don't know. I feel like if there was a more normal gradient of championship point distributions, it would have been, I think it would be a lot fairer. And I also think that winning should get substantially more points than getting top 32. I think that's also pretty silly. So that's my complaints.
I mean, if we're gonna bring up hot takes that I've had.
Did Nick cut out or did
Just
I?
different tiers of points.
It was me.
Wait, what? Can you hear
Sorry,
me?
I cut out. Go ahead. Go again, Nick. Sorry.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so hot take is that instead of giving like having tiers of points, like top 8 players get this many points, top 16 players get this many points, they should just have a gradient of points going down. So like the 19th player in the tournament should get more points than the 28th player in the tournament. They had a better tournament, and just sorting everyone into buckets of powers of 2 feels bad for everybody on the cutoff. But it also like doesn't reward players who are at the top end of the tier. Like, yeah, why does the 17th player get the same reward as the 32nd player? Like the 32nd player makes out like a bandit on that. They did not have as good a tournament, and the 17th player didn't have as bad a tournament as their reward. So I think just having a smoother curve, you don't have the payouts aren't going to be as clean. Like you're going to have the numbers that are slightly less pretty on the leaderboards, but honestly, that's not even a bad thing. That's just saying this player did slightly better than this other player at a tournament. Reward them differently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, people have talked about like record-based championship points as well as another
I
system.
wouldn't mind that either. But yeah, just yeah, like paying out all the A3s the same. I'm fine with that. But paying out all the players in the top 32 is just the same. Is just really, really arbitrary.
Mm-hmm.
And we could do better. Like, Pika, if you want me to design a system for you pro bono, I'll do it. Just hit up my DMs. No charge. I just want the system to be better. Like,
I think I think they might. That maybe they'll listen now
sign
that you've
whatever you
gotten
want
their
me to. I'll
attention with
sign
that
the
big win. You
NDA.
know?
Yeah, just let me fix the system.
My
DMs are open.
Yeah. Other than that, I did want to talk about we've got a month or so until the next one of these things. That we don't know the dates yet, but it'll probably be some open weekend in October. And I kept telling everybody, we weren't going to be able to really predict what the numbers were going to look like going into this grand challenge, what people needed to achieve. There was a lot of people thinking, just getting 1750 or so is going to be enough for top 32, or even numbers lower than that. And I think it really shocked people with a couple of ways. One, there's a lot more on the line for everybody that's allowed to play in this thing, and then the absence of Asian players was also really felt. So I'm curious. I guess I'm going to direct this at you, Adi, because you're kind of a numbers guy. But do you think we'll be able to more accurately predict what's going to happen in the next one, or no?
Yeah, so I think that, and again, part of why I was, I had 3 more games left and I didn't play them, and I didn't, because no one really knew how this was going to turn out. But I don't know if people are going to know the specific numbers that's going to change tournament to tournament. I think it wouldn't change too much, but no one's going to be able to say, yeah, 1790 is the cutoff, because that was pretty much the cutoff this time. So you should aim for 1790. That could change. It could be 1780. It could be 1800, depending on how people play. But what I did realize, I don't think I fully appreciated, is that there is this mad rush to the finish line, because everyone starts leapfrogging each other and everyone starts playing more games, and everyone realizes that it is optimal to play your games towards the end of the tournament. There are just more points to be gained at the end of the tournament, as ladder inflation just is a thing. This is something that we've harped on before, but yeah, I was 17th with 2 hours left, and I was 31st with 30 seconds left, and finished 34th. If I had known that was going to happen, I would have played more games, right? If we had known that many people were going to be playing that many games at the very ending, I think people will understand how to play the tournament a little better. And yeah, I think that's the really big thing that I think we're gonna appreciate a little more. Yeah, I don't know if that fully answered your question, but I think that people are gonna understand that this is a mad rush for the finish line. People are not going to necessarily feel comfortable where they parked nearly as much as we did in this tournament.
Yeah, I like that this time around. I think we didn't talk about this on the preview, but it's kind of obvious once you realize it. But with Japan and all of Asia cut out, it is a lot easier to guess pretty much exactly what your placement is going to be. As Adi said, he's not holding on to hope that a bunch of people above him are going to fall out of the rankings. Whereas in the past, honestly, if Adi got 32 in the global challenge, he could be questioning if he got top 16, because of how...
I might have gotten top 8.
Might have gotten top 8. Legitimately, there are so few, English cards all the way up at the top. And, I'm stealing another thing that Adi had mentioned, but it's kind of like a reverse of the global challenge from beforehand. You definitely saw a lot of the... Japanese players at the very top, but they were just going for flexing. A lot of them were parking at a certain rating for top 150, right? It was 150 for them when they were trying to qualify. Our magic number this time around is top 32. You definitely get some solid points. Me and Z here weren't completely shorted. I still got 65 or something like that, which is fine. I'm hoping to replace it though, because the big jump is at top 32. Top 32 where you get 120, right? Versus 80 for top 64. Yeah. And so everyone's trying to, park around that number. And you get very marginal returns for the win. So yeah, Nick, good job wasting your time for 70 more points. No, sorry, it's 50 more points?
50, yeah.
50 more points? Wow, you just won an extra midseason on someone. Wow, what a waste of time, man. Congrats on your win.
I mean, it's an extra local finish.
It is true.
Points are points. I'm taking my points to the bank, baby.
Hell yeah.
No complaints.
No, I'm not trying to
But yeah,
diminish the value of 50 points. 50 points is pretty solid, but it's just like,
it does feel pretty low, yeah.
That is where people are looking to finish, and so, yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of getting lost in what point I was trying to make, but I'm just trying to really talk about like what it's going to be like for the rest of the year in these grand challenges, because it's just so different. And the funniest part is when people look at a single set of data points for one grand challenge, then in the second one everyone's going to say, yeah, no, I just need to be exactly 1790 or whatever to get top 32, and then it turns out, well, everybody else had that exact thought and pushed up the number a little bit, or a bunch of other people started like cannibalizing each other, and actually the number went further down. Like the number will fluctuate. It's going to be hard to pinpoint exactly what's going to happen to it, but I don't know. These are just like really good. It's the data from these competitions is just so fun to look at. Also, once it hits Pokemon Home, I don't think it's live on Pokemon Home yet, but you'll be able to look at all the sets and Pokemon. What were the usages and stuff like that. That'll be good to study for the next one as well, just to like learn more about the metagame.
Mm-hmm. And
Absolutely.
yeah, I'm also curious how it's going to change as people start to hit their best finish limit, right? I don't know how if Nick is going to play a 4th global challenge after he wins the first 3, right? That's also gonna be something to keep track of as the season progresses. Was this the hardest grand challenge, or are the later ones going to be harder because everyone is realizing, oh shit, I might not get a Worlds invite. I got to try really hard for these grand challenges. So that's also going to be something to watch out for as the season progresses.
I think that the tournament definitely didn't have as many players as could have, as they were supposed to, that were prepping specifically for best of 1. So I do think the GCs are probably going to get harder moving forward. Yeah.
A lot more opportunities to learn from, is like one thing to think about, is that we're going to be doing this for a while. At a certain point, the format will change, but by the time we get to like the November one, people are going to have a really good idea of what, their team needs to beat, what kind of strategies to watch out for in closed team sheet best of 1. I wouldn't be surprised to see more people taking inspiration from Japan instead of just, loading up their, sample team that they stole from Top Cut Explorer or whatever. I think people are really going to start to cook the later on we go. There's always going to be team stealers, and we're also still going to see boring teams do well. I'm not telling you literally have to innovate to win, but I definitely think that the meta is going to shift away from just best of 3 open team sheet teams that have proven themselves to, people trying out a lot of different strategies because you can in the global challenge. It's going to be exciting. I don't know. I'm just loving that we have these. I don't know. I've heard mixed reactions from whether or not people like these, by the way. So I'm just curious. Nick, I don't want your opinion because you're going to say you had a good time. So I'll ask Adi and Z. Do you guys have fun with best of 1? Z, you want to start?
Yeah, I do. I generally feel like it's kind of, I'm not gonna say it's how VGC should be, but it's how VGC was when we all started.
True.
Right, and it's familiar to try and build for not necessarily best of 1, but closed sheet. Definitely. Like, one of my best regional finishes was back in 2019 when I ran 3 different brewers on the same team, which is not something that you can run to the same effect in OTS. And like that type of creativity is rewarded very heavily in these. And I think it's cool. And I also think that like the specific point scaling, like Adi's we talked about earlier, has some problems, but like I like that it is a significant but not like an overwhelming portion of your invite. Like if you're the type of person that just likes to play only OTS, then you can either not bother and compensate with better finishes, or you can just take some mediocre finishes out of these and go do better regionals. Like I think they're good either way.
Yeah, I'm excited for just we have so many opportunities, and I really like that you laid it out that there are multiple routes to a regional invite, and you don't have to like do fantastically, or not regional, worlds invite. You don't have to do fantastically in these. Just like just get your 3 finishes is probably going to be just the main requirement. But yeah, I'm so glad to hear somebody else appreciates building for closed team sheets. So many people just like treat it like the devil, and like I don't know, man. But we're all boomers here, so that's the thing. We've all been playing Mons for so long. Adi, what do you think?
I completely agree. I am 100% on board. The payout structure is I'm not a fan of that. Obviously, we talked about that, but I had a lot of fun building for this global challenge. Especially in months where, if you're a player, you don't have a regional coming up. It's something to like actually focus on. It's something to really prepare for, and it takes a very different set of you prepare very differently. I think it flexes some different skills, your creativity and team building. You can play towards player tendencies a little more because they can't see exactly what your set is. Nails talked a lot about in the team report about how he ended up using a very defensive team as compared to playing very aggressively at Baltimore, which is a huge shift to get a more consistent result. And I, on the other hand, using it, I don't know. It was really fun. It was really fun to team build. I think people take themselves a little too seriously and can't handle losing nearly as well as they should. That's my shot fired to people who don't enjoy the global challenge. Like, just gotta have fun with it. You gotta accept that you're gonna lose. I went on a 5-game losing streak, and I was like, yeah, this is fine. Like, we're just gonna keep going, and you make it back up. And kind of accept the variance in Pokemon, laugh at yourself a little bit. I love this. I love it so much. And I think someone actually mentioned in chat, oh god, there's gonna be like Regulation G, grand challenges and global challenges. But my hot take is, I would rather play a Regulation G Grand Challenge than I would play a Regulation G Regional. I think that, and this is more of a tangent, but like, did you see some of the teams at Japan Nationals? Like, they were wild. They were so cool to see.
I like that take.
They the winning team had Rock Polish, Meteor Beam Terrapagos, right? Like, that's stuff that you cannot run in Open Team Sheet, and it feels like the Open Team Sheet Regulation G was kind of solved. I'm not going to say it is solved. There's still some cool stuff coming out of Worlds, but like, the teams coming out of Worlds are pretty good, and it's several months into development. But in closed Team Sheet, I think that might actually be a really, really fun format. So I'm like low-key looking forward to that. And even Regulation H, we see like P2 Ursa stuff. It's going to be really hard to beat the biggest statistics in the format. I think the metagame is slowly going to centralize around a few comps that we see are really strong. And in closed Team Sheet, I think you can use a lot more creativity to figure out solutions to that maybe only work in one game. So I'm actually very excited for the grand challenges, especially as we get to more developed parts of the format.
Yeah, I like that. And Adi, you gave a couple of takes there, but I wanted to jump back to one of the earlier ones, which I thought was really sick, was just like talking about how most people that don't like best of one aren't good at handling losing, because I think that's super real. A lot of people just like get really, really frustrated when they lose to some surprise strategy, or they lose to getting some bad luck. And yeah, a best of 3 would correct that, oftentimes. If that happens to you in a regional, you'll have some way to make up for that. But I feel like you gotta play and approach these tournaments so differently. To also look to do that to yourself. Do that yourself to your opponents. You want to be able to steal some games from your opponent by catching them off guard. You want to dire claw them and put them to sleep when you're in a bad spot. Build in the options to get lucky yourself, or don't rely on inaccurate moves too much, because you only have one game to beat your opponent's strategy. And yeah, I don't know, once people really take the time to form their mentality toward going into these tournaments, I feel like they'll start to appreciate them more. Hopefully. I don't know, I think they're pretty sick.
Hopefully.
Nick, did you have a good time?
I did have a good time. So to take off on the thing you said at the end there about inaccurate moves, I just realized during my report with Adi that my team is actually Riley Factura approved. I have no inaccurate moves,
True.
which is it's not something that I've really, tried to do, and most of my teams wouldn't hit it. But yeah, no, we got unintentionally. I got there. Alex, I just have a question about my team. Do you think it's boring?
It's like borderline, but like I was looking through as you went mon by mon, and every mon is tricked out just a little bit. Besides Dragapult's just a Dragapult, but you got like an Adamant Instant that's intentionally slow. You got a Covert Cloak Amoonguss. You have this P2 that's being run very differently than the ones we've been seeing in Open Team Sheet Best of 3. Sneasler is like that's still one of the sets that you see on Sneasler, but I think that is a bit of a different one. There was a lot of I think I got protected on by Sneaslers in the GC more than I got throat chopped, but also definitely could be a symptom of my the team that I was running, of course.
Sure.
Anyways, and then Blood Moon goes without saying. So it's definitely got a boring set of 6 that if you show me the 6 Pokemon in team preview, I'm gonna be like, yeah, that's just kind of like, guys, it's just Pokemon. There's just 6 Pokemon here. But the sets definitely trick it out enough, and I think that's like kind of the right way to do these things anyways, is like, you don't have to run Squawkabilly just to like get you don't have to do what Adi did. Like that's stupid and dumb and bad, you know. I'm just kidding. Anyways. You don't it shows that there's like different approaches to success in the GC. You know, Adi's run, while he did come up just short on top 32, was still a very solid run. You know, he almost got 1800, and his team had a lot of very weird stuff that probably made his opponents very uncomfortable. They were like, I don't even know what to expect from this. Whereas, Nick, people probably felt a little bit at home going into the matchup against your team, and then suddenly felt the ground slip from underneath their feet when that Ursaluna lived a Specs Make It Rain, or the P2 traced unaware against a Dozo, or they faked out Amoonguss's Covert Cloak. You know, that's really the cool part about these GCs, is that it rewards a lot of different styles, and it just depends on what you want to get out of it, you know, what your comfortable approach is for these. And I don't know, it's just awesome. I love it. I feel like people need to appreciate them more.
Because I remember you've said the take that a boring team always ends up winning the global challenges, and I wasn't sure if I managed to subvert that or reinforce that.
Probably more like reinforce it, honestly. I know that you have some guys that I talked about being
but everything is pretty sound.
Yeah, they're like, you know, when like if it was a team like Adi's, that would definitely break the convention. A team like mine definitely reinforces it. Z's would have reinforced it. I'm trying to think of like
Sempra's, have you seen Sempra's team?
Yeah, I know Sempra's team with the Quacker, the Quackwaval. I think that would have probably broken the convention. He also had Specs Arch, which is like kind of crazy.
He had Specs Arch. He had Scarf Pelipper. He had Fire AV Rillaboom with Grassy Glide, Woodhammer, U-Turn, and Fake Out. But like just a lot of really, really funky choices on the team.
What'd you say, Z?
The Quackle had Upper Hand, and I love Upper Hand, and I think it's really at its best in close team sheet best of 1.
Yeah,
anything that has Upper Hand, I instantly approve.
That is actually, it's so funny. I was thinking about like, man, Upper Hand is probably a lot more worth using than people were giving credit for. I think I saw Nash had a Flamigo with Upper Hand, and I was like, wait, I forgot that it's like fast enough priority wise to, I think, go before Follow Me. So you can Upper Hand. Sorry, I guess it depends on your speed tier. Is that what it is?
No, it's the same tier as Fake Out. It's +3.
Oh, it's +3. Okay, yeah. So you can Upper Hand a King Gambit on the turn that the partner is clicking Rage Powder or Follow Me, and just like tell that King Gambit to like, shut up, man. No sucker punches today. Like, that's so cool.
Yeah, and the scrappy Upper Hand is especially sick for Global Challenge.
Yeah, I guess for Terra Ghosts and stuff. I'm trying to think of ghosts that go for big priority moves. Bass.
It would just be somebody Terra Ghosting, like a Terra Ghost Ensign, and use scrappy Upper Hand.
You can stop an Aquajet from Basque Legion.
You sure could. I still really wish that they made Upper Hand work on priority status moves.
If it worked on Tailwind, Prankster, and Rage Powder, dude, it would have been so crazy. Like, it would have been such an interesting move back. Like, it would have thrown me back to like Skydrop and Spotlight, like moves that actually like had some really cool applications. You know,
they just break the game state, and you have to deal with it. Like, I don't know if the game would be better if it was like that. Like, I haven't ever played with that in the game, so maybe they play tested it. I don't know how much play testing they did. Maybe they do some. I don't know. I think they usually end up in a good spot, but like maybe that would have broken the game too much. But just talking about it on paper, it seems like it could be really cool. So I kind of wish that we got to experience that. The bigger thing is that I wish they patched the game so they could like drop it in the potentially problematic state and then say, actually, no, it's not okay. Like every other competitive online game just has patches where they're allowed to say, you know what, actually we messed this up. This is not how it's supposed to be. And I wish this one did that because it lets you.
What'd you say, Z?
They fixed Order Up already. We got our one patch of this game.
No, the Wheezing one too. The Wheezing one.
Probably true.
Me.
Oh, the Wheezing booster energy thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I wish that they were more willing, because like when you just drop the patch full of underwhelming stuff that we're sure is not going to break the game, it's just boring. It's like a little more boring, and it's okay to break the game for a patch or two, and have something be overwhelming, but it's slowed down by the fact that people have to figure out how to abuse it best, and then once people figure it out and it's clearly a problem, then you say, okay, yeah, that's not really okay. We shouldn't have shipped it like that.
Hmm.
Those guys had their fun and they got their points. And now that they've taught everybody else how to do it, we're walking it back. It's still fine, and it's still in the state that it was going to be released as. But the upside for doing it like that is that when you're in the design process, you just have to you have to treat everything with a lot of respect, and you don't get to um, you end up with some things being unviable out of an abundance of caution, and you don't get to push the envelope as far.
Hmm.
And so um,
Hmm. Or things being too
like
viable. Looking at you, Urshifu.
yeah,
Well,
also true.
but
Like
I mean, no, I think you're absolutely right because like I look at some Pokemon like Samurott being a big example where they like really nerfed that guy. They were really scared that guy was going to be broken, and it just ended up kind of being really bad, right? Like there are definitely some Pokemon that I think would have benefited from being pushed a little more, and then if it turns out they were actually not okay, they could be walked back. And again, similarly, like you mentioned, Alex, Urshifu being the big example of Pokemon that it would have been nice to see them actually walk it back a little bit. But they also had a whole like generation shift to fix that, and they didn't. So like, um,
Give it
what
time.
produced the
Come
base power?
on.
I mean, so I guess Urshifu is a popular Pokemon. Like all of the Europeans seem to love it. And
Ah.
we saw some tweets this week from players who just were begging for Urshifu back. That they want they want their Bolt. That's all I know. Don't take my game away from me. And I'm like, bro, chill. There's so much. The game can be so good if you're not hitting through protects.
Yeah.
Just learn how to play the game.
I
But
think
yeah,
the thing is I was talking about this over the weekend at a local. We were just like going out to like get food or something, and the discussion came up about like is Reg G versus Reg H or something like that. And I'm like, my take was that it's not a discussion. Not I don't care what side of the like I like playing with restricteds or I don't debate you fall on. I think Z, you're usually a fan of playing with the big guys, right?
Yeah,
And so like I don't agree with you on that, but I'm not gonna come after you for that one because it's kind of like a matter of taste. But if like it's Urshifu versus no Urshifu, and anybody that wants to fight me on that, I will come out swinging because the Reg H doesn't have Urshifu. I think that makes it a lot better than Reg G. That's my personal take. I don't know, it's crazy, but
this is the best format that we have played in the year 2024 for
Mhm.
sure.
yeah.
and 2023 and 2022 and 2021.
Well, we had
I like
ABC
Reggae
for a bit, or Series 1, 2, 3, whatever. Those ones didn't have Urshifu. Because I also like
Genuinely, yeah.
the Paradox Mons were also like pretty strong in the Ruins too, but I don't like those guys feel like a different again, a different debate. You could complain about those ones versus complaining about Urshifu is a whole nother level. Europeans are just crazy, man. I'm very much looking forward to
That's true.
seeing what they do for this tournament. I love Nick's tweet. That one was super gas. I can't remember, Nick. Did you come up with it and tweet it, or did somebody else come up with it and tell you to tweet it?
No. So Justin and Rajan were talking in Tub, and Justin came up with the quote, "NA can't play, you can't build," and Rajan and Justin were both trying to get each other to tweet, and I was like, guys, chill, just stop this. I got this, and I shipped it. And then Justin gave me some crap for not quote tweeting the original tweet that was being discussed, where it was
True.
like, I missed Shifu and Raging Bolt. But no, I just was like, no, this is an evergreen tweet. I'm shipping it. And I have zero regrets about my choice to not quote tweet
regardless, I think
context
we're
for it.
in a very funny timeline where we're here previewing, Dortmund coming up. You had just won the global challenge, and you put out this tweet last week.
It was kind of thick timing. I'm not gonna lie.
So let's see. Let's have EU put to the test. Let's actually talk about that. We've talked plenty about the global challenge. Let's talk about these tournaments coming up this weekend. Joinville is going to be happening in Brazil, and Dortmund going to be happening in Germany this coming weekend. I actually don't know the numbers for either of them. I was kind of just glancing around, and I don't know exactly how big these tournaments are going to be. But it's just it's still going to be very fun to watch this weekend. I'm excited. We had Baltimore into the GC into Dortmund. It feels like VGC is like really back in swing now post Worlds, and I'm really excited to see what they come up with or don't come up with at Dortmund.
I'm excited to roast them for not coming up with anything interesting. I'm very excited for that.
Like, I want to put them to the test,
all I'm
dude.
gonna say is that I've had a lot of
of
Europeans in my DMs.
right.
That's what I'm gonna say.
Are they going to be
I
streamed?
will not name names, but yes.
So Dortmund definitely
we don't
should be
know.
streamed.
Yeah, Dortmund will be streamed. We don't know if Joinville is streamed. I think all of our info is from Victory Road, and they have not announced anything yet. But usually we find out like the day before or something like that for LATAM regionals.
Mm-hmm. They might set something up. I wouldn't be surprised to see it. So regardless, it's gonna be super awesome to see some live games with high stakes being played. I don't know. I'm just as much as I love playing the game, I'm also a big fan of watching the game, especially when it's live. It's very cool. When they have these, European tournaments, you get to watch all the coolest teams in action. Just
Mhm.
I don't want to shit on them too much, man. But
Wow, you brought P2 Ursa, Ensign, like that's Amogus. That's so cool. Oh, you have a Tyranitar instead of a Flamigo. That's awesome.
well,
They're so quirky for that.
No, you don't realize, Adi, that like the Ensign I'm running today actually has 156 defense EVs, and that's actually not standard for the archetype. I'm really flexing myself here and putting myself out there. I don't know. We'll see. But other than that, though, yeah, these will be. Brazil might be run at a bit better of a time for NA players to watch. For Dortmund, how far are we off from Dortmund? What's Dortmund's
How
time
far are
zone?
you off, or how far are we off?
I guess just like anybody. Like, what is Dortmund's time zone? They're ahead of London by
They're-
how much?
So they're an hour after London.
Only an hour?
Yeah.
They are
Oh,
they
okay.
are +2 GMT, and Eastern time is -4 GMT. So they're gonna be 6 hours ahead of us and 9 hours ahead of you.
Wait, what does that mean again? When are they starting the stream for you, Adi?
Okay. So the actual tournament, I don't know if they have when the stream starts, but the actual tournament I think starts at 7:15 UTC. Come on, use the local times or something. All right, UTC is GMT, which means it's going to be 4 hours before that, so 3:15 a.m. And that
Oof.
probably means that it's going to be 4 or 5:15 a.m. stream start time for Eastern time zone. Yeah, it's like, and then that means it's gonna be like midnight for you. You might have to stay up all night to watch it.
Yeah.
So not super convenient for us, I think. I'm not sure about that because UTC and GMT are different, and it's all very like. But yeah, it is going to be it's not going to be easy to watch, but I'm going to rewatch it at the very least. I think there's going to be some good Pokemon played, and that way you get to pick and choose which sets you want to watch.
But yeah, that's always the other good part is, even though watching it live is a little more exciting, you get to watch it at 2x speed or something afterwards too, which is a lot of people's preferred way to consume content. So just give it to me all now. Anyways, yeah, other than that, I don't really know what else to talk about in the preview. I think we probably still just do smart money for Dortmund because we'll know enough players going to that one that we can talk about that. But yeah, in terms of number of players going, I don't know. This is not a special event. That was one thing I did a couple of double checking on for both of these. These are both regionals, so there will be prize money They, I guess, assumedly at entry fees, the special events are the free entry ones, right? So, maybe the numbers aren't as insane. Regardless, though, let's talk about smart money here for I guess Dortmund. Um, Starting off with Z, do you have any picks for Europeans you think are going to do hot this weekend?
I have two in mind actually. Would you rather me pick one or say both?
You got to pick one. If you want to mention the other one afterwards, somebody else can take it, but you only get one.
Okay. Well, if I have to pick one, I have to pick Mr. World Champion himself. I'm going to take Edu.
All right.
He had a great taste in team for the Global Challenge.
Yeah.
If anybody is using.
How do you do?
That's a great
Don't
question.
worry
about it. But the other person I like to shout out, Francesco Pardini. I've been playing some games with him recently, and for somebody that's been playing all the way back in like 2011, I'm surprised, but yeah, he seems to be in pretty good form. So I'm hoping for a good tournament from him.
Man, that's like 3 years off my start. I'm starting to get to that point where, I got I'm almost to that point, man. Anyways. Nick, who do you got for the smart money?
I am walking away from my usual European smart money, and I'm taking Alex Gomez. Roxon, you're still my smart money in my heart, but Alex is my smart money in my head. He had a really good global challenge, and if he had more time to chase me, we would have had a funny chase going up higher into the rankings. Honestly, I was a little disappointed that I didn't get pushed harder. I've hit 1900 in one of the global challenges before, and I parked at 1870 with 12 more games to play, so I think I could have kept going. But yeah, Gomez got fourth, only playing 30 games. I think he's on form, and yeah, he's my smart money.
All right, Adi, what do you got?
I had a very similar idea to you, Nick. I think that people who did well in the Grand Challenge are also going to see a lot of success at this regional, and so I've got the hometown hero. I actually don't know where in Germany Febzi lives, but I'm going with Febzi, who maybe the best German player, certainly the best German player, and the Grand Challenge. And so I don't know what he ran in the Grand Challenge, but I think it's probably a good pick. Hopefully there's no Zoroark in the field that he can lose to. And yeah, I think I'm picking him to bring it home to Germany.
All right.
Great pick.
My pick was taken by Nails. I also wanted Gomez, but I am hosting, so I get last pick. And my second pick is going to be MDB, the second best Michael with a 3-letter acronym thing. Maybe better than ESF. Hard to say. It's up to debate. Anyways, MDB could not be more lost right now, from what I know. MDB definitely does not have a team. And I feel like that's, those are the people you want to look for. The ones that are the least confident, the ones that have no idea what they're going to be running at the tournament, because then when they do figure it out, they're going to, shine for no reason. And that person that had their team figured out a month ago is just going to crash and burn. That's how
their team is outdated.
That's it. That team is so outdated. I agree. The best players build their team the day before, right, Nick?
I did that for Baltimore, and it worked okay for me.
I was also thinking, when did you build your GC team?
I built that on Monday before as soon as I got back from Baltimore is when I put stuff in the builder and started tinkering. And just like Monday through Wednesday, I was working on it. So yeah, definitely plugged stuff in right before the GC and before Baltimore. So yeah, 2 for 2. I'm doing reasonably well with that strategy. I can't really fault your logic. That sounds like it's sounds like what's going down. Michael's a great pick.
All right, so
he's not the best German player, according to Adi.
That's gonna be it for smart money then, and I know that we are kind of already here at the end, but should we jump into Calc is right, Adi? What do you think?
I mean, unless you want to hear me complaining about the Grand Challenge for another half an hour, I can do that too.
I think we're good. We'll have a lot of other streams this week to continue to yap about the Grand Challenge. Maybe talk more about our teams. I'm definitely looking forward to Adi's team report, because although he mentioned every detail, about his team in the Discord that we're in. I didn't read a single bit of it, so definitely gonna be learning a lot in that YouTube video. Just kidding.
So okay, I mean, I don't know how many people actually read what I was typing, because obviously the team was kind of out there. But yeah, no. Actually, one question I have. So knowing what we know now, looking at Baltimore regional results and whatnot, what do you think is going to overachieve? What Pokemon do you think is going to overachieve at Dortmund regionals? How do you think the meta is going to play out?
If anybody else has one, go ahead. I'm thinking.
I'm also gonna take a bit to think about this. Like,
I'll go ahead and jump in first,
mean-
then I'll let you guys take a moment to think. I have a boring one, and it's simply that we were super wrong about the Bears to start. It seems like everyone was like Blood Moon, Blood Moon, Blood Moon. Then Guts Bear had a very good tournament in Baltimore. I'm gonna say that people might be able to reverse it back. I know that the Hoj brothers are a big fan of Blood Moon. And I think people might get a little bit lazy on their Blood Moon counterplay because it hasn't had the hottest showing yet. So if I was going to pick like one, somewhat hot take of a Pokemon to do well, I would say, ooh, wait, really? Sorry, I'm reading chat. Is Gomez not going? Nick might have to pick a new one. Anyways, yeah, Blood Moon is my pick for that, and yeah, if anybody else knows, that'd be actually very helpful. If you know that Gomez isn't going, we'll have to let Nick get a repick. But yeah, anybody else have a response to Adi's question though?
Yeah. Well, I'm just gonna, since we're talking about it, I'm slamming my regular smart money European pick of Roxon.
Yeah. I'll type it in here just in case.
Yeah.
So we remember.
Yeah. So, I mean, like we're picking something that is not usually that's going to overperform its expectations. So stuff like Sneasler, stuff like Flamigo would have been an awesome picks for Baltimore, right? It's not just Goldengo is going to be the most used mon, and it's going to do well because that's like a freebie. Okay, so if that's what we're going for, shoot, it's like I don't know. Europe is not that out of the box, so I really do like the Blood Moon pick. That's definitely gonna just. It had a really bad Baltimore, and I do think it's gonna have a way better Dortmund.
Mike's predicting Flamigo to no longer exist. I don't know. I think the thing about Flamigo is it's kind of the mirror breaker when it comes to those teams. It hits Ursaluna, Incin, P2, Golden Go, and Amoonguss all super effectively. So if you go for the other versions that run like Tyranitar, Palt is better in the mirror. I just don't know if I agree. I feel like Flamigo's gotta be the good guy in the mirror. I don't play that team a ton, but I feel like that mirror is probably gonna be relatively common at the tournament, so I feel like Flamigo's pretty good to have on your team in that matchup anyways.
Okay, I'm gonna lock in Breloom as my guy.
Ooh,
that
spicy.
is gonna perform well. I mean, I used it at Baltimore and I cut. It was pretty good for me. It has a pretty good time into Porygon 2 teams. You have to solve for the Goldengo, but and a little bit for an Amoonguss if it's there. But otherwise, Breloom just has it kind of has a field day. It can spore everything. It can use its fighting moves pretty freely. The Focus Sash makes it really annoying to deal with, depending on your fighting moves of choice. Either you get to just blow up the Incineroar, or you can Mach Punch while Trick Room's up. Yeah, I'm slamming Breloom. The only thing I'm not certain about is whether there's actually going to be Breloom players in the field. But if there are Breloom players, I think they will do well.
There you go.
All right, Z, what do you got?
Well, okay, so at first I said King Gambit, because I'm like, Goldengo did well, and the metagame is going to cycle, so the King Gambit comes on to beat the Goldengos. But, like, that's too obvious. Like, it's going to be top 5 in usage either way. So, whatever. So then I was like, okay, you might expect me to say Vivillon. But I think people are going to copy the team and not convert well with it. Or copy other teams. Who knows? So, actually, I think the Pokemon that I'm looking at, oh gosh, I had it here, and then I lost it. what Pokemon was I about? Oh, Annihilate.
Okay.
I feel like people got some really good Annihilate building practice in for the GC, and like it kind of had good performances in Baltimore. Like,
There was a top 4 and a top 8, 2 top 16, but
yeah,
um,
like it didn't like take over results. Riley went 8-0 with it day one. I think people like I think it's due for a bigger finish than getting top 16 in bracket. So that's what I'm banking on.
Mm-hmm. I like that
Okay.
pick.
Yeah.
That's a really
yeah,
good,
no, it's a cool pick.
a good mon that can do more things than people realize. So, Scarf, AV, traditional bulk up, all solid. Audie, what's your own
did
pick
you get
then?
top? I was gonna say, and I got top 4, right? Dawei got top 4 with it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
There
right,
was one in top 4 and one in top 8.
Forgot about that one. Yeah,
But,
I'm still Annihilate.
Yeah, I was gonna go with something similar. I have two different Pokemon that I think both could do really well. The first is I think Grimmsnarl really overperformed at Baltimore regionals. I'm looking at it right now. There were 6 total in top 256, and 2 of them top cut. The other one had a Hypno on the team and still lost the win-in. Right, so like I think the people who use Grimmsnarl really overperformed. The primary pairing being Annihilate. And so I think that Dawei's team is really, really strong. I think we're going to see a lot more of that as far as the bouncy style team. So it would not shock me to see that team specifically, but also Grimmsnarl in general do quite well. And then the more out of the blue pick that really underperformed at Baltimore as well that I thought might be good is Komodo, because I think that Overcoat Komodo is one of the Pokemon that really, really stomps the balanced teams, especially the balanced teams that a lot of Europeans have been using in these Victory Road tours. And so I would not be shocked to see a big resurgence in that, just because knowing kind of what the local metagame looks like, I think that could be a really strong meta call as well.
Mm-hmm.
I do need to shout out for a lot of my prep. I was working with a coaching Kamo with Covered Cloak. I think that guy is really cool. Like he's spore immune, he's fake out immune, so you just kind of get to pass the boost on to your partner. You still invest pretty heavily in defense and like running an impish nature, so its body presses still do like 80% to Insun. And it's immune to Intimidate, which is nice when you're trying to set up an attack boosting strategy. I wasn't able to figure out how to make it work into all the matchups that I needed to cover. Covering Dozo can be a little tricky with that type of team, but maybe Trace P2 is the silver bullet that answers that and like takes the team to another level. I genuinely haven't tested it, but I worked with coaching Kamo a lot. And if you're trying to just shred balance teams, that guy is really good at it. So if you're stuck, like that's something to explore. Or if you want to hit up my DMs, honestly, I can give you some thoughts on some ideas.
Speaking of coaching, Nick does do coaching.
I also do coaching if you want a full session. We can try to lab something out.
I have a couple of silly realizations. So first off, bear with me here. For one, can you status your own Magic Bounce Pokemon? Will it bounce back or will it go through?
I'm pretty sure it bounces back. So I think I remember Jeremy Rodriguez doing like heal pulsing his Espeon to heal his Clefairy, right?
Yeah, that's right. So if I coaching a Magic Bounce Pokemon, will it bounce back to my Como in this case?
It does not. Very good question. Coaching targets it targets your allies. So in doubles, coaching only boosts your partner, but it can't be redirected. In like in the raid battles where you have 3 teammates, it boosts all of them, and coaching's a really, really good move in like raid battles.
Right. My second realization was, why aren't we using? Because I was thinking about Magic Bounce, and I was like, I saw a decent amount of Espeons in the GC. Were they running Magic Bounce? I guess probably. I was like, what's the other ability? Synchronize. Why aren't we using Synchronize to counter Sneasler? They roll the sleep or the para, and then you're just like, actually, you know what, you two. Actually, but no, it doesn't work on sleep, right? Does it just not work on sleep? No!
I think it doesn't work on sleep.
Only paralysis burn.
No, why?
It should really work on freeze, honestly. I don't know why it doesn't.
It should work on sleep too.
It should work on all of them. What's the point?
Yeah. Good shout though. You can para them 17% of the time.
Yep. Okay, this sounds a lot sadder than I thought. Let's move on to the calc is right, and while we're talking about Como, I actually do have a fun Como calc. Um, I think calc default arch is a little bit bulkier than I would like. Let's just say 252 HP, 4 SPDF, AV arch. How much is it taking from max modest Como, choice specs, clanging scales, Terra Dragon? Choice specs. So I wanted to make basically I'm throwing all the multipliers on. There's no like helping hand or anything, but we're throwing all the multipliers on a Como with clanging scales. I want my budget Reggie Drago. How much is this doing to a AV Arch? So Terra Dragon, Modest Max, Choice Specs, Clanging Scales. It's still, of course, a spread move.
Okay, I've got my number.
I've got my number.
All right. This is something I was looking at the GC, because I think I saw it on a ladder VOD, and I was like, that was insane. What are they? They're going crazy with this guy. But is the damage actually worth it? Let's find out. Oh, I'm already running it. I forgot to ask you guys for your numbers. Thankfully, I didn't finish it. Adi, go ahead and start.
I think we're going to be disappointed. I think it's going to miss the KO, and I'm going to say it's going to do 85.
All right, Nick.
I was way off from Adi. I thought that we were going to be missing the KO with Helping Hand, or you would have told us about putting Helping Hand on it. So I think my number is 61.
Okay. And Z?
85 was literally the number that I was thinking of, so I'm going to Price is Right this and say that's going to do 84.9%.
Okay. So on the just below. You'll win the tie that way. All right. Choice specs. No, Nick, I wasn't mentioning Helping Hand. I just like because of any calc specific. It's just there are more multipliers you could definitely put on a Como in a single turn. But we didn't do all of them. Now, I think I have everything here, and the numbers are not as awesome as you would like. It's doing. I think Choice Specs, Terra Dragon, Clanging Scales. Yep, it's doing 60.9 to 72%.
Let's go! I'm in there.
So 85. Like, I wish, guys, I'm here with you. Like, I wanted to look at this and be like, yeah, like this guy's. I don't even know if this one shot's an instant. Like, let me just put in like calc default instant, like max speed instant. Nope, I just replaced the Como. Well, anyways, who's got the next calc?
I just need to pat myself on the back for hearing Adi rip 85 and just sticking with my guns.
Yep, right. Well, you're supposed to. Hey, you're not supposed to cheat, man. You gotta lock in your number when I say lock in your number.
I had my number, and I locked it in. Adi being like 1.4x off for me did not phase me. Anyways, you guys have your calcs? I have my calc. I can go.
Nick, go ahead.
Go for it.
Okay, so this one came up in one of my GC games. We've got my Porygon 2 with 4 special attack EVs, clicking Thunderbolt into a Primarina. The Primarina is just 252-4. Like, you can be calc default, but this stupid Primarina got 3 Moonblast drops on my P2, so we're -3. How much does the -3 T-Bolt do to the Primarina?
And you were 4 special attack bold, right?
Yeah, 4 special attack bold P2.
All right, I got my number.
I have my number.
I was between two numbers, and I'm splitting the middle of them, and it still feels funny. All right, yeah, I'm ready.
All right, I got a number.
Okay, Z, let's start it.
17%.
Alex, what you got?
Right around there, 18.
Adi?
My number's right there too. I'm saying 20%.
Okay.
Okay, plug it in.
This is type. Primarina does have a very solid special defense, worth noting. So, 116 is no joke. Porygon 2, we'll look up at the calc default Bolt Beam Trick Room. It's almost there. We just gotta put the 4 here. And yeah, we're looking at, a normal amount of damage. But what if we're -3? Oh no! I think only one person's in the range.
Yep.
Z, you managed to get in there. We were actually all a little too confident in P2. 13.9 to 17.1.
Right.
I did win that end game, but it took a while, and I used 8 of my recovers to do it.
Holy. That is. What was the item on it?
On their prim, it was probably like Mystic Water or something.
Okay.
It didn't reveal Throat Spray or anything else.
It wasn't Citrus. Citrus would have been a real long haul.
I mean, leftovers, I would have clicked the forfeit. No, I would have tried to crit a T-Bolt, but
Or
like,
get a para or
yeah.
something, but...
But yeah, no, it was, I'm assuming Mystic Water could have been Goggles, I suppose.
Wait, did you end up getting a para or no?
No, I just, I think the prim only, like, it got one crit that I was able to shrug off, and I never parried it. I just clicked T-Bolt and kept
8+
plugging
times
away.
or
And,
whatever, and then got there. Yeah, all right.
yeah.
All right, who's next? Z, do you have one?
Yeah.
All right, what's it?
So this one was from a scenario where I played Steve and Mia at the Baltimore Regional,
Yep.
and we had a tense last turn of Trick Room scenario where it was my low Golden Go versus his like set maybe 67% Porygon 2, and the Porygon 2 was Terra Blast Ground, so it could KO my Golden Go, and I needed to figure out if I needed to Nasty Plot or sorry, I needed to figure out, if I needed to Nasty Plot or Protect. And so the calc that I want to ask, +3 Golden Go, 116 special attack, no Metal Coat, no Boost Net, my Metal Coat was knocked off, versus 252 HP, 100 Spadef, Porygon 2, single target.
And you said it was at
How much?
I guess, yeah, you said it was at 67. We're not trying to guess if it kills or not. We're just trying to get
Yeah,
that.
no, we're just trying to
It recovered up. It recovered up. So basically, I want to know, do I kill it from full? That's how much do you think I'm doing to this Porygon 2? Single
You're
target
+3.
116 special attack on the Golden Go.
I got my number.
Yeah, I got a number.
Oh man, I gotta try to remember the multiplier for doubles to singles now.
Right?
+3 is okay. Oh god, that doesn't help me at all. Okay, I got a number.
All right, let's start putting it in. I guess it can be a leftovers.
No, you gotta start guessing first.
Oh, right. I keep forgetting. I got it. Okay, Z, calling somebody. I'm just all out of whack today. Z, who you picking?
Okay. Alex, go first.
My number I was going to go for was 75.
Okay. Nick?
I'm going 90 because this P2 I ran it this weekend. It takes a bit more from special attacks than I would have liked. I wish it was more like Alex's number, but I opted for the bold nature instead of the calm nature. And so yeah.
Adi?
So I was doing all the math in my head with my approximation, and I had 100, but I think that it's doing less than that because I think that my mental math is a little like 116 is a little lower than I'm used to. So I'm gonna go 95.
All right, so up to +3 singles and then stop. That's it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm seeing 77 to 91. Does that? Man, that means I think me and Adi are both out of it. Nick, what did you pick?
I said 90.
God damn, man.
I initially was thinking 80 and decided to hedge upwards. And I was in for both of them. So what can I say?
Nick, did you go 3 for 3 on other people's calcs?
I think I did. Yeah.
You went 2 for 2. I haven't gone yet.
Oh,
He
okay.
won.
I don't even know why I'm saying Adi. I'm like half here, man. I'm like half here, dude.
Alex is so locked in right now.
I'm locked out, bro. I don't know where I am. I'm still back in Chicago or something. Adi, please give us your calc.
The problem is we've been using 2 common Pokemon, and Nails knows all these calcs. Let's find out how well he knows his superior calcs.
Of course.
This one actually happened to me in a game. I think it was one of my last couple games actually. I got my superior up to +6 special attack. They just ignored that guy. And to boot, it also had grassy terrain up. And so yeah, they set up a Rillaboom for me too. So I'm doing big damage here, but I only have 4 special attack. I'm timid nature. And I'm facing down an AV King Gambit. Let's say it's 252 HP, 4 speed def. AV King Gambit. How much am I doing with Leaf Storm?
+6 grassy terrain.
+6 grassy terrain.
Timid 4. Okay. I got my number.
I have my number.
Okay, I got my number.
All right. I'm gonna start with Nails. What do you think?
I think it's doing 57. I'm starting out with, I think it does 11 with no multipliers. Then it turns into 44 at +6, and then 44 turns into 57 after you add grassy terrain.
All right. And Z, what do you think?
I had 55 with a very similar train of thought.
Okay,
All
well,
right, and
I
Alex.
also had 55. So I guess I will Price is Right downward and take 54 because I think Surf is not doing enough damage. I originally had like 45 or something, but I was like, we do have like terrain, so maybe this guy gets the 2 at KO. Let's run it.
All right, Alex, plug it in.
So, man, it's throwing me back to when Stellar was announced and Donald and ESM were testing Superior, and they got to like +4, and Stellar blasted a King Gambit and did like nothing. Like they were like, drop them on now. They were so mad at this guy.
Nah, I mean that's why I ran screens. It's not worth getting to +1. You're still not doing damage at +1 unless it's a +2 boost. It's not worth running Stellar Terra Blast.
Okay, wait. I think I forgot Grassy. Dude, I'm gonna scream. I'm gonna scream. No!
Yeah.
No way! It does 55 minimum. No!
Yep.
Oh,
Come on!
could have taken the over.
I mean, you just gotta put in the mental math and actually carry the 1 on the multipliers. And,
Oh,
that's just a skill issue on your part.
oh, come on, man!
That's tough.
Wow,
Grassy
dude.
terrain is a 1.2 multiplier. It's 1.3, man.
I know.
Keep up.
I know.
Yep. The calc that came up was this plus Vacuum Wave picked up the King Gambit, and I won the game off of that.
Okay, hold on. Calc is right. What's doing more?
The Leaf Storm does me. I know that one for my GC run.
Yeah.
Gotta be Leaf.
Oh wait, this is you were Assault Vest, right, Adi?
That was AV, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm actually looking at the calc now. They might not have been max HP because this is
Still a roll. Yeah.
doing enough. Yeah, I gotta get a roll too.
That's pretty amusing.
Or they might have taken chip. I don't remember exact the situation.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I definitely remember.
But then they got that grassy terrain
+6.
healing, so I don't know, man.
I definitely remember clicking the +6 and doing just over 50% with my +6 Leaf Storm.
Yeah. All right, well, that's gonna be it. Unless there's somebody else I'm forgetting, but I don't think there is.
No, I'm on a roll. Chat, what you got? Calc is right, me.
True.
I'm on fire.
Man, I can't believe I missed that. Let's see. Who is streaming tonight? It looks like Master Mark is going, so you can always throw it over there. But yeah, let's go ahead and wrap it up here today for Tub Takes. You can, if you got in late and you didn't catch the beginning, it's going to be up on YouTube tomorrow. So check it out on Adi's channel there. And then we've also got a couple other streams planned this week. Adi and YouTube videos as well. So team reports for, Splatty Daddy's team, as well as NailsOU's and Adi's team reports for the GC. Check those ones out. And then the basketball player stream is also going to be, that's a stream, right? Yeah.
Yep, that'll be a stream. That's on Wednesday evening. So look forward to
gonna
that.
be a
If
good
you
time.
have, it's gonna be so much fun. If you have requests or anything, make sure to be there and fire them off. So it'll be fun.
All right. Well, with that, anything else you guys want to mention before we get out of here? I'll start up the raid. And if not, then thank you to Nails and Z for being on. Thanks, Audie, for hanging. And we'll catch you guys next time. Peace out, peeps.